Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Get Creative with Polemy. Today we'll be doing an extremely simple yet a gorgeous oil paint landscape. For that I've got a very small set of oil paint which I got for only $7, some brushes, a white canvas 8 by 10 inch and refined linseed oil, which is the medium for oil paint. So let's start. This is my reference photo from where we'll be painting the landscape. Look how bright and beautiful it is. This landscape, if done with acrylic paints, would also look very beautiful and bright. I'm putting a very thin layer of paint using ultramarine blue and white and using a lot of linseed oil. If you're doing this painting with acrylic paints, then it's fine. But if you want to learn how to start with oil painting with the most inexpensive material, then I would suggest you buy a small palette of oil paints which I've just bought for $7. I've ordered refined linseed oil from Amazon just for $10, which will last me a year. You don't need any canvas because the beauty of oil paint is you can do it in watercolor paper, on mixed media paper, any thick paper and canvas or panel boards. Here I'm using pure titanium white to paint the cloud. So I would like to share the tip for cleaning your brushes. People use odorless paint thinner, but you don't have to buy anything. Just with your dish soap, if you clean your brushes, it will be good enough. As you can see, I am putting a very thin layer of paint for my first layer. That is how I like to do. And since it is a very thin layer of paint, it will dry within a day, and the next day I can come back and put a thicker layer, which is my second layer, to complete the painting. And when you put your final layer with a thicker layer of paint, it generally takes you 3 to 4 days for the painting to dry. When you're painting sky, always remember to keep the upper part of the sky deep, and as and when you come towards the horizon, use a lot more titanium white to make it light. Here I'll be putting a purple inside the cloud by mixing red and ultramarine blue, and then we'll mix titanium white to make it more light. I want this cloud, as per the reference photo, to be very bright. If you study nature, you would always see that the inside of the cloud is a purplish grayish color, and the silver linings are generally very bright. So coming back to the main point for which I have made this video is, if you're a beginner and never have done oil painting, just go ahead and buy a very small set of oil paints and a refined linseed oil, and that would be it to start with your oil painting. So this reference photo doesn't have a lot of detailing, but with oil paint you can do much more detailing compared to any other medium. Also, you have much more control over your painting. So as you can see, I am using titanium white after putting the purple to make the clouds more lighter, and after a day when it is dry, I will put a lot more titanium white for the cloud to get highlighted. I will put thick chunks of paint on the cloud. As per the reference photo, there is a deep line near the horizon, so I'm using brown burnt umber to paint the line of the horizon, and beyond the deep line there is a wheat field which is painted with lemon yellow. I I think this is a wheat field. So whatever harvest it is, near the horizon, you have to keep it really light, and as in when we come closer, the painting gets more detailed and we'll be using deep colors in front. So I'm using mainly a layer of lemon yellow to paint the wheat field. Now the closer I get, I'm using a deeper color, a mix of orange and lemon yellow, to paint the closer wheat field. As per the reference photo, there's a patch of grass which I am painting with a mix of lemon yellow and green. So far, if you've noticed, I just have one thin layer of paint on the canvas, and the next day when it dries, I'll put the thicker layer of paint as the second and the final layer. As per the reference photo, I'm drawing the sheaf of the harvest, sheaf as in the lower part of the crop. So I'm using burnt umber and a mix of ultramarine blue. I'm not using any black. As per the reference photo, here my wheat field ends and the sheaf gets more bigger and detailed, and I'm again putting only burnt umber and a mix of ultramarine blue to paint the sheaf. As we get closer, the sheaf becomes a little more detailed compared to the horizon. So with a brush, I'm painting more detailed sheaves in front of the painting. To paint the grass field, I'm using green and a mix of lemon yellow. So there's a distant grass field which is painted with a mix of green and a little bit of burnt umber and titanium white. As this is towards the horizon, I'm trying to keep it light. Putting some detailed grass here and there with a mix of green and ultramarine blue. I want the nearest sheaf to look more detailed, so with a toothpick I'm scraping off some of the paints to give a texture to the sheaf. Now comes the interesting part of painting the focal point, which is a tree, and I'm using green and lemon yellow for the leaves, and for the branch I'll be using burnt umber or brown color. After a day when the paint is totally dry, I'm putting a thicker layer in the entire painting. So that's the reference photo, and this is the most easy, bright and a very gorgeous oil painting we just completed. Hope you like my painting and my channel, and if yes, please do share, subscribe, hit the bell icon for future videos. Thanks for watching. Stay home, stay safe. Bye.